Okay. Hi. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is going to be a very difficult stream. Good evening, everyone. I need this coffee. It's been It's been a busy day. Yes, I just need to sip this coffee, and I'll be with you in a second. That's true. That is true. It is morning somewhere. Fuck. Right. Anyway, welcome everyone. Sorry for starting, quite later than expected. It's because I'm stupid. 1 minute. But you're probably used to this. I basically typed up a big old Patreon post, and I was ready to click send, and then for some reason I just didn't. Like I had the post backed up and everything, so I didn't need to retype it. But for some reason I just closed the window. I was distracted by Lulu on my lap. I was giving her cuddles, so I'm going to blame Lulu. But then I was like, you idiot! And the problem with Patreon is that so I put in these inline GIFs all throughout the text. So had to drag and drop them one by one because none of that was saved, and it just so I was like, fucking hell. And then I copy and pasted that Patreon post over to the Discord group that's below this live stream. So if you're a Twitch subscriber, there's a behind the scenes post on SWAT 4 / Ready or Not bullshittery. So I'm working on it. It's week number 4. I've got this big sorry, pardon me. Sorry, I really need to learn to warm up my voice before I start streaming. I've got this big list of issues that I'm currently working through, you see. So, quality assurance stuff. And, so the video is almost edited end to end. But, so I've got to go through and polish and quality assure. Right. This young lady, hang on, is flopped down behind me. You gonna rest? Yes. She's had her walkies and she's had her dinner. And she was lucky today because I had some roast fish, like baked fish, I suppose, in silver foil. And when I was done with it, I decided to pop her dog food in the oven to bake her dog food. So she had nice, warm dog food mixed with kibble. So she's fine. Her belly's full. She's happy. And later, after the stream, I've got a peanut butter stuffed. It's like a beef chew with a peanut butter filling. And she was at the pet shop and she picked it herself because the pet shop has these cardboard boxes and sort of lining one of the shelving units. And I was putting stuff in my hands, loading up, and I turn around and Lulu's head is just inside one of these cardboard boxes. She wasn't even sniffing anything. She wasn't trying to get anything. She decided to park her head in the aroma box, I think, and just stayed there. I'm like, okay. So clearly you're interested in whatever's in there. So I got her a peanut butter, the stuffed thing. So she picked her treat. And she better like it because it cost me a $5. Right. Okay. So welcome back to Disco Elysium. Don't worry, if you haven't been following, I'll bring you up to speed. Hang on. 1 second. Okay, so welcome back from this morning, everyone. So yes, for those who have not been following Disco Elysium, we are playing as a detective, and my name is unknown. I don't know my name, but I seem to have forgotten my name. I seem to have forgotten a lot. I don't know who I am. We've woken up from a drunken stupor on the floor of the Whirling in Rags, which is the name of a hostel, so like a cheap lodgings thing here in the city of Revachol. So this is the city of Revachol, which is on the island of, is it Le Caillou? And essentially it is Berlin if, instead of the Second World War bringing it to its knees, it was a communist revolution, I think. I'm putting the pieces together currently. It was a communist revolution which chased away an absolute monarchy, I think, which was then subsequently replaced with a foreign occupation by something called the Coalition. And then pretend that Berlin, instead of being brought back up onto its feet as quickly as possible to serve as a bulwark against the Soviet Union, imagine that didn't happen. Instead, what I seem to be learning is that Revachol was chopped up into pieces, separated into management zones for this coalition, and then, due to the power vacuum that formed, a sort of liberal free market liberalism came in. And again, I don't know if I have all the pieces correct. I think by the sounds of it, capitalism's ruined everything. I think. Because without a strong government of any stripe to stop them, they called them ultras, ultra-libertarians, so ultra-capitalists, came in and basically took everything of value and set up, like, got their own mineral rights and petroleum rights and everything, logistics. So it's a shit show. It's a shit show for the common, men and women of Revachol, because they're essentially, with free market liberalism, so with a free market economy, sure, you've got competition and opportunity for advancement, but you've also, by the looks of things, got extreme wealth inequality. I mean, this place is poverty-stricken. This what was once apparently the jewel of an empire. It's a bombed-out, poverty-stricken mess full of gingers. There's one of them here. Terrible. Right. Okay. So, more pressingly, though, away from the socio-political whatever, this dead body. I'm struggling to get him down because every time I go near the body, I retch. It's disgusting. So I'm a detective. I'm trying to investigate exactly why this body was here. Who put him here? So according to the footprints, I don't think he walked. So he wasn't a dead man who was marched to this makeshift gallows. I think someone carried him. The prints are 8. So 8 sets of prints with steel toes. Could be the Union that we keep hearing about, possibly. That being said, it's also, this guy was a security guard. I'm not sure who he was. He doesn't sound like he was a scab. If it's not the Union, this sort of thing could, with matching steel-toed boots, could easily be something made to set up the Union. Oh, the violence is escalating. Look, they even lynched somebody. Call in the strike breakers or whatever, Maybe. There's not enough information yet. I don't have enough information. Sorry, just polishing off the coffee. Right. So yeah, no, thus far. Sorry. By the way, perhaps if you're interested in playing Disco Elysium, maybe skip this stream. I'm thoroughly enjoying the game so far. I think it's I'm enjoying the. If I could describe it in one word, I would call it rich. It feels very, very rich, in the sense that I feel like I'm doing that Mr. B-tongue thing with Morrowind, the YouTuber who once described Morrowind as you have the ability to just go off in any direction and start flipping over the stones, and what you find is full of soul and creativity and love. It feels very, very rich. I had a conversation with a lady called Joyce over there, and we just had this deep historical conversation talking about what happened to Revachol. And in doing so, I must admit, it's been in my head today. That conversation that I had with Joyce as I've been working has been in my head, and I realised that, well, frankly, if what she says is true, because when it comes to anything, video games, film, novels, don't necessarily take one character's perspective as the truth. If what she says is true, then I'm not so sure I want to be a detective for this regime. Because if I'm a detective too, I've lost my memory. We're with like the Revacholian militia. We're just like, so we're not even real law enforcement, at least when it comes to the enforcement of laws, but also it sounds like we're just kind of enforcing a status quo of misery. As in, if we're just keeping everyone in line, but I don't think everyone, by the sounds of it, I don't think we need to be in line. By the sounds of it, Revachol needs to rise the fuck up. How? I don't even know. Seems beyond my pay grade. Thank you, Nova Man. Right, what the fuck am I doing? So, we need to... Yeah, so we think we found a witness, but we need to meet him tomorrow. Do I just go to my room and go to sleep? Right. Let's go this way. Can I hold down the... No. Do that. Oh, I can hold down the right mouse button in order to see objects instead of just tab. That's handy. Okay. Let's go back inside the whirling in rags. Yes, so that's one of the two things that I knew about this game going in. I knew that it was a detective game, and I also knew that its developers were backstabbed horrendously. Right. Don't forget that I owe the bartender 130 real. I don't know what you're talking about. When? I don't. 131. Money? I don't believe in money. I've forgotten money. Okay. Kim, I'm not trying to be funny, mate, but I'm not so sure you can sleep with me in the in the room. I mean, can I even sleep? Does it let me sleep? Is that even an option? It's almost 4 in the afternoon.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
No time to rest. Yeah, just no time to rest yet. Oh yeah, what was this? So for some reason at 3 in the morning I got upset by a tape that was playing, and I ripped up this tape recorder. Strange. Is the FPS low? Is it low? Let me know, chat. Is it low? Let's go this way. No, we don't need to speak to that woman. Let's leave her alone. Right. It was choppy for a bit. Okay, let me... Oh, hang on. Yeah, now that you mention it. I've got a bright red connection on Twitch. Maybe I should change servers in a minute? Okay. Let me know if it becomes a problem. I'll switch servers. Right. In fact, hang on. Let me just... So I'm just fiddling with the setting. Okay. Can I show the thought cabinet what I've been internalizing? Yes, indeed. So, again, speaking mechanically for the people who have never played this game, it's full of lots of conversations that you can have that can go in branching paths, and you have all of these voices that come up and speak to you. They're sort of facets of your brain, your intellect, your psyche, your physique, and each of them kind of sass you a little bit as you're sort of going through a conversation with suspects or whatever. It's really quite fun. So, presumably in future playthroughs, you can stack your points in completely different locations to have a very different playthrough experience. Is the protagonist like a schizo? Honestly, I don't know. I think this is just mechanical. I don't think this is overtly acknowledged by the characters. But that being said, sorry, I know I'm jumping the gun. I do get the impression that my partner, Kim, might be, like, assessing me, maybe. I just get that vibe. I don't know. Maybe I've had a mental breakdown before. Well, obviously I got drunk. I got shit-faced. Sorry, where's my... Here we go. So, volumetric shit compressor. So, yeah, this is like a talent that I got when I vomited all over the floor when I looked at the body. All endurance white checks unlocked. Learning cap for endurance raised to 4. You know, in hindsight, I'm not so sure that was a good idea to get. You don't have enough skill points available. Okay. Rigorous self-critique. So, I apologized to a waitress that I frightened, unfortunately. So I frightened her to the point that she didn't want to come back to work. So I was very sorry to her on the phone. As a result, I get a reduction to my authority. Not sure what benefit I get yet. Well, I guess we'll find out. What's this? And so derealization. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what this was. I had some sort of momentary break from reality on the docks when I was speaking to Joyce. She kept quoting names like the Revachol Special Administrative Region, and on not only failing to recognize what they were, I found myself getting a feeling of inescapable wrongness about it. So I'm sort of derealization. I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing. I'm sort of processing it, I suppose. Is there anything else I can do? Unlock. Unlock a new slot to research... Wait. Unlock a new slot to research the thought. Okay, so I need to progress. Okay. What did I do, Thorfos, to scare a waitress so much that she wouldn't come back to work? Well, apparently, according to her, I was shit-faced, I was waving my gun around, I was pointing my gun at the people in the whirling in rags, saying how cool my gun was. I then pointed the gun at my head repeatedly, threatening to commit suicide. I then apparently attacked that bird that was hanging on the wall, a stuffed bird, apparently because it kept giving me shit all evening. Now the poor bartender back there is trying to fucking fix it. Then I went upstairs and I trashed my room. I flushed 24 fucking detective documents down the bog, but blocking the plumbing, played loud music until about 3 in the morning, and then passed out in my underpants, head on the floor. Just generally apparently I was just a huge piece of shit, so, yes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but, fuck, it really sucks. Okay. Hello, Lena.
Hello again, sweetie.
Her grey eyes shine above the rim of her glasses. No, don't beg, poor Lena. Okay, bring it up. Okay, be careful, but be nice. You seem to be in a chair.
Yes, dear. I'm a paraplegic.
A paraplegic is someone with limited or no ability to use the lower half of their body. Paraplegia is caused by spinal cord injuries, like falling from a great height, or a grenade explosion.
Okay. It was rude of me to mention the wheelchair. Yeah, apologise. I'm sorry. It was rude of me to mention the wheelchair.
That's quite all right. I'm used to people asking questions. I know they're thinking about it anyway.
How would you like to roll with me?
Whatever do you mean?
I want you to be my wheelchaired partner in fighting crime, ridding backyards of corpses, catching sequence killers? Is that serial killers?
Sequence killers? Oh my. But I think you already have a partner, sweetie.
Yeah, but this Kim's kind of stuffy. Honestly, you two should hook up. I think Kim needs a bit of he needs to lighten up, for Christ's sake.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree.
Shh, Kim, you weren't supposed to say that bit. Okay. Side mysteries, sequence killers, and the forays into the paranatural. Yes, you're probably right, Kim.
It seems to me that you lucked out with your partner. He has the look of an upstanding officer of the law. Someone you can lean on, and sweetie, you are looking unsteady.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, I've got to get going now, Lena. Okay. Right, so what the fuck do I do now? Guess I'll just keep exploring. Alright. So, tasks. Let's have a look at my tasks. So, track down the badge. Yes, I've lost my police badge. Joyce info on the lynching. What's this? Sorry. There is something she wants to tell me. You just have to present her with the badge. Oh, sorry, yeah, Joyce. That's, yeah. She won't give me, apparently, company secret. She won't give me them until she has my badge number. So, someone reported the hanging. Maybe if I find out who it was. Keep searching for the caller. Oh, okay, so that's, yeah, I'm guessing it's probably the guy that we're looking for, the witness. The smoker on the balcony. Okay. So, visit apartment 28 sometime after 9 in the evening. Okay. Track down your gun. Okay, we just need to keep exploring then. Right. For those joining the stream, welcome, I hope you're okay. I do strongly recommend, thus far, Disco Elysium. I think it's quite cool. Sorry, pardon me, sorry, apologies, pardon me. Okay. So what's this over here? Just a roof? Wait a minute, we've gone the wrong way. Oh, tree. Okay, there we go. Oh wait, the railing? There we go. Is the stream choppy? Yeah, look, yeah, I've got a bright red connection. Okay, shall I change Twitch servers? Yeah. Okay, bear with me. I won't shut down the recording for the people watching the VOD later, but I will switch servers. So just give me a second. I'll just pick a different one and see if it has any better results. So be right back in a moment to chat. Hang on. Alright. Where I find that? No, I'm definitely not on my VPN. No. Okay, let's try that. Give that a whirly. Right. Okay, so I've just restarted it. Hello there, chat, if you can hear me. People, I'm sure, probably surely refreshing right about now. There is a slight possibility it's my connection. I just did a quick speed test, and whilst my upload was not terrible, it was not its normal average. So, There's a slight possibility that it's me. We'll see how we go. Right. Okay. I hope it's not me, because I really want to play this game. Right. What's this here? Some kind of machine. An antique cash register. Okay. What about this? Mostly military wear, with a few more eccentric fashions thrown in.
Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out from the other garb.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Behind him is a cluster of cabins engulfed in flames. Beneath him are the words, Heimdall burning. The antlers on the hood of the man's cloak and his piercing blue eyes are familiar.
Oh, wait a second. Antlers on the hood? So we saw when we went to the apartment, again, maybe I'm just reaching, apologies chat, we saw on the apartment that the in-universe symbol for the communist uprising was an upside-down star and a set of antlers rising above it in white. Is the Heimdall fictional novel series, is it... Well, I know that it's got like a nationalistic tint to it, but I don't know. Is it sort of quiet, like, is it communist propaganda, maybe? Sniff the t-shirt? Why the fuck would you sniff the t-shirt? What's the deal with the man on this t-shirt?
It's the man from Heimdall.
Walking away from his burning village. Yes.
Okay. Remind me, who's the man from Heimdall?
The man from Heimdall is the hero of a series of popular books based on a fictional version of Kotler. Mostly what is nowadays Arda NFD.
I have no idea what either of those are. Catler, mostly what is nowadays Arda NFD.
In fact, most people don't think that man from Heimdall ever really existed. But they are wrong.
Heimdall isn't a real place.
Neither is the man a real man, of course. But both the man and Heimdall are an ontological necessity. But hey, it's not worth getting into an argument about.
Interesting.
Wow, what?
Okay. How much is the t-shirt?
2 real.
2 real. How much do I have? 10.
That's dirt cheap.
Cool, I'll think about it.
You should.
Okay. That being said, I need to be careful. If there is some nationalist fucking, racist street going through the city, is it wise fucking walking around with one of the... I don't know. I'm a police officer. Okay. Let go of the t-shirt. Let's go speak to the proprietor. Hello. Have you seen a gun?
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop.
The man at the counter turns to you slowly.
What can I do for you?
Now that the RCM is here, tell me, have you had any trouble lately?
I haven't had any problems myself, though some of my customers have complained about inconsistent law enforcement.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travelers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake, people who are terminally bored. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from.
You do. Quite a collection indeed.
It keeps me entertained.
His attention is drawn, once again, more to the play of light and shadow on the wall behind you.
He's well composed, but underneath it you sense psychedelic processes bubbling. Some kind of drug, maybe.
Composure. What's composure? So one of my motorists. Straighten your back, keep your poker face. Composure wants you not to crack, or at least it wants you not to crack in front of other people. It enables you to put up a strong front. It keeps your emotions hidden from the world and helps you to read the body language of others, to sense the cracks in their own composure. As well, it keeps you looking good while you do it. You'll rock that disco outfit a lot more if you don't slouch. Okay. So, electrochemistry. No. There's something I'd like to sell. By the way, do you happen to have guns, like the ones carried by cops?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
Fuck. Fuck.
This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. Oh God. The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another. Alert.
I sold you my gun?
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia. And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind.
Shit. Was the buyer a policeman?
She didn't seem like a policeman.
Shit.
Although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her.
It's not that fucking... It's not the skull lady with the paint, is it? That kept calling us pig? We haven't bumped into... It's not Kuno's little friend. No, surely the little delinquent ginger wouldn't be able to afford a weapon. Okay.
Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the Citizens Militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
Fuck. Yes, Kim, that seems to be exactly what happened. Okay. There is only one explanation. She must be one of my rabid fans. What? Fans? What does that mean? No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I sold my gun. I'm sorry. I'm a fuck up. Is that what you want to hear, Kim? I'm a fuck up.
Yeah, it's not good. I do hope we manage to clean this mess up somehow, while also keeping our focus on the murder investigation.
Any ideas where we can find the buyer?
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow.
Kim, do you have a gun? Just, you could be in trouble. Okay. At least now I know how I lost my sidearm. Let's talk about something else.
Of course.
Okay. Missing gun. There's something I'd like to sell. Is there?
Let me have a look.
Access the pawn menu. Check my pockets.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Empty cassette case. Hang on to this for now. Okay. What's this? Sorry. This is the cassette that I destroyed at the beginning. There used to be a tape in this case, but it was destroyed in a fit of rage. Something about the Etienne's single smallest church in Saint-Ciennes. Must have rubbed someone the wrong way. The label says it was recorded in 43. No, just close. I don't have anything to sell at the moment.
Another time, perhaps.
Thank you, Dan from the internet. Also, in real life chat, I have only gone to, I don't want to say like a pawn shop, but like it was a core memory of mine as a teenager was when someone suggested that I could go to this, like there was a shop. So obviously you buy games on the high street, right? But the idea of going to a shop that would also buy used games and then give you money to let you buy new games. Oh, like someone in school brought that up and I thought, oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea. So I took a couple of games that I'd played, like games that I had, and took them to the shop to refund them, to essentially, I didn't even buy them from that shop. and it was Rogue One, I think it was. It was the game Rogue One for the PC. And I remember this because I was offended. I was offended at how little he was offering me for it. Because it was it's burned into my brain. I was like, you bastard. Obviously, I didn't say this because I was a kid. I didn't have the guts. But it was like, are you kidding me? This is an amazing game. This is a fucking amazing game. And you're offering me like pittance for it. Like it was a couple of quid or something. I guess, you know, he looked at me like lowballed me because I was a kid and thought, whatever. But I said, no thank you, I'm going to keep it then. And I still got it. It's beneath my bed. It's beneath my bed in a row of other PC games. I've got like all the boxes and all the fucking manuals still. I'm keeping it as a matter of... In fact, I'm going to get buried with it. Bury me with that, the fucking CD case. Right. I'm keeping this. Fuck you. Does it still work? I don't know. In fact, now that you mention it, sorry, I'm going off topic. I've realised that my fucking my CD reader on my PC is dead. I kept moving it from PC to PC with each upgrade because, frankly, just having an old CD-ROM reader is kind of handy, but it's kind of dead now. I tried playing something and it didn't work, so got to replace that just in case. You know, I want to go back and look at the old stuff. Anyway, what was I doing? Yeah, get a USB one. It's not really the point. It's about you know, old stuff. Just having it. I'm old. Fuck you. I'm 38. 18. Right. You might be able to... Yes, you might be able to aid our investigation.
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have.
Do you know anything about the recent hanging? For those joining the stream, there's been a lynching in the courtyard over there.
I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business. Bad for everyone.
He doesn't know anything.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I've got.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colours.
Okay. I have other business to take care of. Thank you. That guy's cool. Roy? What's that?
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-travelled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels.
I stand on the tip of my toes to see more.
One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Thank you, Machine Spirit. Shopkeep, the Stereo 8 approved machine here.
Is the Harman Welsh W2. Made in Vespa. Designed in Seoul. Plays all reel-to-reel formats. 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real.
Shit, I can't afford it. Okay. You sure it's in working order?
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech. Found sounds and music from a variety of genres. Even though I don't really like music.
You don't like music?
That's odd. Why doesn't he like music?
You don't like music? What do you like then?
The stuff I record myself. Silverware shaking in drawers as motor cars race by. Nocturnal animals climbing on the roof. Airship rotors. That kind of thing.
He's like an ASMR hipster. Oh, you probably wouldn't have heard of it. Sometimes I rattle the plumbing. Makes me go, ah.
Maybe you should ditch music as well. Get into these more experimental sounds he's describing.
Okay, that's all. Welcome to the pawn shop. Thank you, Roy. What's this?
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
Okay. Where'd you get this?
It was brought to me to be altered.
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property.
He leans in so the pawnbroker doesn't hear him.
You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
Okay. Let your gaze run over the streetlight.
The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently. This would make quite a statement in your living room.
Okay, there's nothing else I need to know about the streetlight. Figurines.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty.
Inspect the blue uniforms.
They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets.
Wait, this looks like Rene, the old guy who is playing Pentacue.
This is what the loyalists looked like, yes, at
Yeah.
first. Then they wised up and got camouflage.
Yeah, like the old World War I French soldiers. I point at the blue figurines. Are these royalist soldiers?
Which ones? Ah, those. Yes, they are. I find the paint job a bit gaudy, but children like the bright colours indiscriminately.
Inspect the knights on horseback.
Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks, the kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye.
Those are Franco-Nigerian cavalry, right?
Mm-hmm. I used to be very serious about my Franco-Nigerian knights.
He looks at the dusty figurines in the dim light. And I'm guessing the figures in rags are probably the filthy communists.
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols. Some even shovels and tall sticks.
Are those even soldiers?
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? Yes, they are soldiers, revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win.
Yeah. So either it's meant to give people hope, even we can do it. 2, the contrast is meant to be disheartening as it ought to be. 3, it's impossible to win against the cohorts of capital. Ask my friend Gart, whose bitch it made me? What, sorry? Ask my friend Gart, whose bitch it made me. What does that mean? I wish it was more nuanced as it stands. The guy I owe money. Oh, I'm with you. The cohorts of capital. Sorry, I thought city. He's talking about money, isn't he? Ask my friend. Yeah, gotcha. Because I owe money. I owe like 100 and something real. I'm with you. Sorry, I misunderstood. It's debt. I wish it were more nuanced. As it stands, I cannot comment. Yeah. Number 4. I know that I'm persistently fence-sitting in this, but... I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, fuck. This whole situation, this whole game is really fucking dark.
I don't like either set very much, to be honest. But there are many parents among my customers.
Okay. Interfacing... So, hang on. Hide interfacing. Dig up a truly cool figurine in the box under the table.
Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say found.
Ah, isn't that one of the corporations over there, I think? It's on the side of the lorry over there. What's this? I show the shopkeep.
Oh, that's the Headless Phone Rider.
Who?
The Headless Phone Rider. It's an urban legend about a man who rides the streets of Revachol sporting a fawn tracksuit. As you see, he's missing his head. 50 cents. Bargain price. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think he's looking for it, or something. That part of the story has many interpretations.
You're making it. This is a broken figurine. You're making this up, aren't you?
He lost his cap when he lost his head. Perhaps he's looking for the head.
Fuck it, why not? I purchased the Headless Fowl Rider and his cap.
Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you.
He grins. I step away from the table. I feel like I've been scammed. Okay. What the fuck did I just get? Figurine set, Headless Fallen Rider. The plastic Headless Fallen Rider sits atop his equally plastic bull. His posture indicates either desperation or pride. Comes as a set with the infamous Fallen cap for which he lost his head. The head is not included. Okay. Well, shit. Yeah, riding a bull. Riding a bull, Jesus. Okay. Try the in-game drugs. Oh, yeah? Move on. Hi there, Sponzo. Yeah, good. Sorry, yeah, for those joining, yeah, so I'm working on the bullshittery. It's week 4. What did I do today? So, mostly I just worked on the editing. Yeah, I feel a bit boring, really. Posted a note through my neighbour's door concerning a fence that's come down between our 2 properties. I was seeking legal advice about the fence because, keeping it brief, here in the UK, there's something called land covenants, which dictate what you cannot do upon the land, and weirdly, our land covenants have a maximum size for the fence that we can install, and so I was trying to seek legal advice, basically asking, does that matter? If it matters, can we change it? And also, weirdly, the fence owner isn't specified. That's not that unusual, a quick bit of Googling tells me. Many titles, essentially the deed on the land in England, many of them don't specify exactly which fence is owned by which neighbour. So apparently, usually, the rule of thumb is the one on the left of your property is the one that you own. But again, it's sometimes not specified in actual text, which is important. Anyway, so I was also wanted to ask, it's not specified who owns the fence, so I'm currently going 50-50 with the neighbour. Can we specify it? Anyway, none of this matters because the quote that I got back from the law firm was really expensive. Like, totally out of the question expensive. And I was like, I was being honest with the lady and being like, look, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't expecting this. Like, you know, I think this is well out of my scope for what I really wanted. And they were very polite, and they even tried to talk me down to a lower fee, but I think I got a bit cold feet, and I was like, you know what, I think I've gone too far with this. I just kind of wanted some quick advice, but I think I was barking up the wrong tree. Anyway, so the point is, I put the note through the neighbour's door saying, look, let's just fix the fence, let's just replace it, sure, whatever, it's fine. But yeah. Anyway. I'm hoping the fence does get fixed, because Lulu can currently just wander outside into the garden and just go visit the neighbour. Like, hello. Alright. Who's this? What's this? Water lock out of order until Wednesday, 7:15 a.m. What's that? Samaran something? My friend Barry's stuck on the other side. Oh, it's a lock. This is outrageous. Hello.
G'day to you, officers.
Hello. Are you really brandishing a knife? What's that thing? Hi, I'm Ed Atner, and then he hits the fucking switch knife or whatever. Thank you, Dan from the internet, and a Loken. Thank you very much. Okay.
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the waterlock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them.
Do you know what caused the wreckage? I point at the smashed billboard.
I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of daredevil drivers in Rivershoal.
Yeah, wait, didn't we see tire tracks on a roof over there? What does that mean?
Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here. Especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then.
Okay. Do you know what's further down the coast?
Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation, though. There always seems to be something wrong with it.
He thinks for a moment.
Yeah, not really much else. Just bombed out ruins.
I'm not going to try and take a piece of his salami. fuck it, that does look like... Can I have a piece of that salami?
Sure thing.
He cuts off a slice of salami.
It is salty. It is savory. It is chewy. The hangover only makes the salami more tasty.
Did I just lose a health point? Could I potentially die in the game if I just had a piece of salami?
Want some too, officer?
Oh, I gained one, sorry, I misread it. He turns to the lieutenant.
Why not?
The lieutenant ponders the offer for a moment, then decides to go for it. He takes a slice of salami from the man and chews on it. Oh, thank you very much, man on the water lock. That's kind of him.
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque.
Thank you for subbing Latecomer. Hi there in Montana. Wait, hang on. Montana? Isn't that the one... Yeah, hang on. Isn't that the one all the way... It is. Yeah, sorry, I was just trying... In my head, I was going, wait, where's Montana? It's the one that's all the way at the top bit, next to the coal bit and the mountain bit. Oh, God. You're stuck next to Wyoming. No, wait, hang on. I'm looking at a map of the US, which is a really crazy fucking place. Oh, no, California. No, you're fine. Florida's on the other side. It's fine. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. Right, anyway, hi there. Hi there indeed. Thank you, Latecomer. Thank you. All right. It's the state that the British blacksmith kid moved to, evading taxes and fucked off back to England. Okay, that's a story that I'm completely unfamiliar with. The British blacksmith kid? Don't know what that is. Okay.
This panel usually closes the waterlock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything.
I pull the lever.
You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then...
Thank you, Mage of Aesthetic. Alex Steele. Alex Steele? What the fuck is the chat talking about? Alex Steele. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a YouTuber. Sorry, for a minute I thought this was like a historical... I thought this was a story. Like, in 1814, Wyoming was founded by a blacksmith who fled to... Sorry, I thought that's where we were going. It's a YouTuber, right. Sorry, I got the wrong end of the stick there. Alright. I thought this was going to be like a Joseph Smith origin story for the state of Wyoming. Anyway, pull the lever. Didn't work.
Nothing happens.
I push it harder.
Nothing happens. A cold gust of wind blowing in from the sea interrupts the silence of the situation.
The lieutenant hums to himself while staring at my activities. I push it harder.
Nothing happens. A cold gust of wind blowing in from the sea interrupts the silence of the situation.
Kim, help me with this. Don't just hum at me.
Nothing happens. A cold gust of wind blowing in from the sea interrupts the silence of the situation.
I release the lever.
A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the waterlock to get across the canal. Some other way. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
I pull the lever.
You pull the lever, nothing happens. A spring brings the lever back to its original position. Wasn't there a sign over there?
I leave. Okay. Shit. Alright then. So we're not getting through that. How did that go down? Someone knocked it over? Did it fall from up there? Who's that over there? Okay. So there's the pawn shop. What's that? Is that the start of the lorry convoy? Okay. A helpline to the company that controls the drawbridge. Yeah, all of these trucks. I'm practically giving goods away here, says the man. Hello.
You see two lowly, defeated speakers, thralls, slaves basically, perched atop them like conquerors surveying the land. A pair of found, durable wear sneakers, ultra serious.
Found sneakers on a pedestal of speakers. Oh, I see. Thralls, slaves basically perched atop them like conquerors surveying the land. A pair of found, durable wear sneakers, the Ultra series.
I can see you with taste for luxury, officer. Can't
Says the
keep your eyes
shopkeeper.
off those sneakers?
I inspect the sneakers.
A pair of found ultras. The design is impossibly sleek and simple. A futuristic silhouette with a sleek monochrome colorway, a jet black upper, and a silver-lined midsole.
Chat, is the stream... Yeah, my connection's gone bright red again. Hang on. Yeah, Twitch will be like, Let me do another quick speed test. Is it my connection? Speed test, go! Speed test is thinking about it. New server now. Alright. Right, okay, that might be our last chance. Alright. Hello! Hello, hello, let's see. Yeah, if it's still bad, folks, I don't really know what to do. Okay. It's gone again. I don't think this is me, according to my connection, folks. This doesn't look like me. This looks like Twitch might be having trouble. Okay. Put an end to it now, get back to it tomorrow morning. That would be a shame. That would be a shame. Okay. Is it unwatchable? Yes, my salami killed the stream. Okay. Twitch is probably shitting itself. Yes, indeed, Mag. I've already tried 4 different servers now, I think. Alright. Oh, really, Penguin? SpaceX Crew 9 re-entry and splashdown in progress. Oh, really? That's cool. It's not over my hemisphere, is it? Hang on. SpaceX Crew 9 re-entry. Let's have a look. Location. Current location. Interesting. Okay. So Digby and Dinkler and a couple of other streams seem to be fine. Stabilized a bit. Okay, let's just continue the conversation and we'll see how it goes. Right. Okay, so inspect the sneakers. Inspect the speakers.
These once respectable speakers have been conquered, reduced to a mere prop by the indomitable found ultras atop them. A small heat emboss on the veneer reads, "Solidarity aid from the People's Republic of Samara." The speakers themselves don't seem to display any magical qualities.
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers. The sneakers are the stars here.
Yeah. Fuck, if that's not a metaphor of if that's not emblematic of what this game is all about, or at least what Revachol is all about. So wait, are the speakers, they're presumably either non-functional or at least old, so the speakers are solidarity aid from the People's Republic of Samara, so where that guy with the big tattoos is from, and they are simply being used as a table, as a prop to present shitty, expensive consumer goods from the Found. I think it's the Found Corporation, I think. Because capitalists are going to be capitalists, aren't they? They're not interested in helping Revachol. They just want to bleed this place. What about the speakers? Doesn't anyone want the speakers?
These, officer? These speakers are Samaran garbage. I'm ashamed to even use them for props. Don't waste your time on them.
Samaran trash. That sounds like they're from the Samaran People's Republic, produced under the dictatorship of the proletariat.
Can't I just buy the sad conquered Samaran speakers?
No way, officer! These aren't for sale. They're bad speakers. Low-fi socialist junk.
But I need some speakers.
Well, if you want them...
He pauses for a moment, calculating.
But see, they are the pedestal for my sneakers. If I let go of the speakers, where will the sneakers go? I can't leave premium lifestyle sneakers on the ground.
Why not? Why would the sneakers need to be up here? Why would the sneakers need to be essentially pinning down Samaran aid for Revachol? Why? Silling, huh? Why are you capitalists, you capitalist pig dogs, holding down the innocent people of Revachol?
If, on the other hand, you wanted to buy the sneakers too, I could maybe throw in the speakers for little extra.
Damn, so you have to buy the sneakers first.
God damn, I think this game is radicalizing me. I'm gonna be fucking waving the fucking red flag in a minute. How bullshit this fucking... This is where we're gonna learn that the Ultra are all billionaires or some shit. Sorry, for those who didn't see the last stream, the Ultra... So the ultra-libertarians, they're the hyper-capitalist people that are, in which case, sorry, I don't know if they're all rich, but at least representing the interests of the wealthy, those who have the mineral rights and the petroleum rights. I wonder if we're going to encounter any more of them as the game proceeds, but we are in a city that's essentially been left as a bombed-out ruin, rather than being given the necessary cash investment to get these people back up on their feet. Instead, they seem to have been exploited as labor or as consumers to buy shitty, like, fucking sneakers that probably cost like 4 real to make and sold for 50. I leave. What about these?
There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand clothes, smelling of strangers' body odors.
Don't be shy. These are premium class clothes. Good quality fabrics, best retro design. Save the economy with your style, officer.
Save the economy? That sounds off.
Save the economy? What are you talking about?
Haven't you heard, officer? We've got to be economically conscious. Recycle your cash, keep it in circulation. Don't buy new things. Buy eco.
It doesn't make any sense. Why exactly does the economy need saving?
Look around, officer. You see all these premium goods just sitting there, not getting bought? We've got to keep the flow of goods moving. Is this really the economy we want to leave to our children?
Do you know why they're not getting bought? Do you know why they're not getting bought? Because no one has any fucking money here, Sileng. That's what happens when ultra-capitalists create fucking billionaires that drain all the fucking wealth from first the middle class and then the next class down until there's nothing but just fucking basic subsistence, like renters everywhere. No one has money to pay for your fucking sneakers. So that's why you're having to sort of expand your filthy reach, because you've drained Revachol dry. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna wave this red flag with the stag's antlers on it in a second. And they don't care. Sorry, these people don't care. These people will just build their ivory towers and pull up the drawbridge and pretend that there isn't a problem. There is a massive problem. What happens when you get super old? As in speaking to the fucking ultras. When you get super old and no one's having kids, and those that do don't have money, and therefore the kids don't have money, who's going to take care of you? Your economy is going to crash hugely, and all you're doing is setting up a second, even bloodier revolution. Right, I'm gonna buy my handgun back. I'm taking part in this revolution. Revachol forever. Sorry, hang on. Right. This economy is really a distraction from the cultural issue, you know. Immigrant, don't say that. No, God, what the fuck? Why is that number 4? Fucking hell. Okay. It's just nature. Powerful economies expand. Weak economies go extinct. I don't have children, I think. You're right, we've got to save mother economy. Look, man, I just want to buy some clothes.
That's good, officer. That's exactly what the economy wants you to do.
Browse through the box.
You find your hands deep in tattered and faded garments made from weird polyester blends that make your body itch and sweat in all the wrong places. The box smells like cat piss or like an old person with no money.
Economical, but also trendy. Look first hand, buy second hand. Keep the economy moving.
Fuck. Yeah, this game is so dark. It's actually kind of awesome. Like you start scratching away. As I say, you go around and start turning over the stones, and you realize this world is as dark as Fallout is. You just gotta. It's just not super mutants tearing people's heads off. It's vampiric ultra capitalists keeping everyone in perpetual poverty because they're blind and greedy. Plastic wrapped macaronis stacked with humanitarian aid. Fuck. And these people are eating humanitarian aid. They can't even support. Kim, are you staring at me? So these people can't. Like, they're not even growing their own food. They're just eating out of MREs, essentially. Humanitarian aid to tuna fish, not for resale. Food gifts from the people of Messenia. Speakers from the people of Samara. Yeah, we're just getting aid shipped in from other countries. Aid shipped in from other countries, and yet the corporations here want to sell their extremely expensive sneakers.
There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small box, a variety of shapes and colors.
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles right here.
The vendor takes a pair of sunglasses and sticks them under your nose. I try the shades on.
Abort. These are hideous. What's more, they don't even fit your face. You can feel them pinching your nose and chafing against your brow.
Damn, officer! You look like a mega secret spy. Very secret. They're practically made for you. I'll let you have them for 2 real and 50 cents.
It's going to be very difficult for anyone to take you seriously with these things on your face.
And now he's just... Obviously he's a salesman. Literally, he's a salesman. But now he's just lying. You know? They don't fit. It's like, they don't fit perfectly. No, it's fine. Just buy, just buy. What do you mean the environment's in trouble? Just buy, just buy. What do you mean no one's having kids? Just buy, just buy. Just fingers in the ears, la la la, of the ultra-capitalist.
No, you are definitely not buying those.
Kim's got your back most of the time. You can do it. No, you're not buying. No, we're drawing the line here, motherfucker. You are not wearing the sunglasses. So the lieutenant gently removes the glasses from your face. Don't tell me what to do, Kim. I like these sunglasses.
No, I can't. We can't walk around with you looking like this. Okay, fine. Go ahead. If you want to look like a walking midlife crisis, then who am I to interfere?
Oh, fuck. I will take these ugly glasses.
A good starter pair, officer. And when you're ready to upgrade, come back and see me.
Thanks. Kim, I got new glasses. Kim, do you want to see my new glasses? Hang on. Hey. What do you think, Kim? He won't even look at me. Hang on. Electrochemistry logic -1. Oh, fuck. Okay. The death-tinted shades come with an odd longing for self-destruction. They're ugly. You don't even need a mirror to know this. Describing them is futile. Better get a glass of wine. Oh, fuck. This game is great. Alright. Yeah, sorry. Again, I don't... So, chat, I don't know how you... Because obviously there are people in the chat who have seen this game before. I'm willing to bet there are people that have completed this game before. So, I don't know if I sound like a raving, like, madman when I'm going down these rabbit holes and sort of... Maybe I am reading too much into individual things and fine. But, yeah, I'm just seeing what feels like a bit of a fucking horror show. In a subtle sort of... You got to scratch the paint a little bit to see that... Yeah, this isn't like a... This is horrible. This is a horrible fucking place to be. Again, I speculated in a prior stream that Revachol probably has an enormous brain drain problem. Because anyone who's anybody has probably already left. I doubt... Sorry, I mentioned a minute ago that we're going to bump into the rich people. Unless we leave Martinez, I don't think we will. Because they're not here. They're not available to provide their opinion, I would assume. Because they're not going to stay around here amongst the plebs and the poverty, are they? They're gonna build their own sort of ivory tower, fucking glass and aluminium fortresses, not interact with the lower classes who they've left in Martinez. You know what I mean? There's so much going on in Disco Elysium. Hang on. Oh really? So I'm not doing... Okay, that's good to know, Duty. So this guy's, yeah, he's waiting for the strike to be over so he can just move on. So Founds, yeah, that's where I saw it before. I've read these names before. Where have I read these names? Are these the names of the tribe? No. Oh, sorry, what's that? My phone's doing warblies. Is that my brother? No, don't know what it was. All that. Right. Yeah, I suppose you're right, isn't it? A reflection... Yeah, I'm describing a lot of poor countries. Yeah. Exactly that. So there's the union thing. So these guys are scabs. Oh, I haven't spoken to this gentleman. Let's speak to this gentleman.
Scab?
Asks a man with jolly eyes tilting his head. So call me Manana. So I think Joyce, the strike negotiator, was speaking with this gentleman. I think this guy was being a bit open with her. I seem to recall.
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time.
I'm not a scab. I'm a cop.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab.
His smile deepens and wrinkles even more.
Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money.
He chuckles, then realizes, wait a minute.
Speaking of, what brings the RCN here? To the wild north? Come to see the strife?
Sorry, speaking to any members of the audience who might be unfamiliar with the term scab, it refers to an employee who's willing to work when other workers are striking and therefore trying to bargain for whatever the union of that given industry is trying to bargain for, be it pay or better working conditions. So as you can imagine with that description, the term scab is a derogatory, highly politicized term for essentially a traitor. Someone who is willing to work despite and betray their fellow workers, and they're also often used as tools by strike breakers to put pressure on the workers to obviously to stop the strike. Yes, class traitors. Your personal politics will colour how you see the word, but obviously, well, in this context in Revachol, that's exactly what these guys are doing. They seem to be, they're trying to protest to get the union to stop striking. I don't even know what the strike is about. Haven't gone that far yet. Okay. What is the strike about?
You know, serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
I know that the strikers And I think they've been doing this for the last 4 weeks or so. Did you say 4 weeks or 4 months? They had absolutely outrageous demands, which haven't moved on at all. So, but yeah, their demands were about. They wanted like they wanted to be on like like every worker to be on the board of the pine. What is it? Wild Pines, the name of the corporation, which is obviously insane. Okay.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike too. Just can't break the command structure and tell you now.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I get it. Don't worry. I've come to Martinez investigating a murder.
Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder.
Okay. Whisper, I've no idea what I'm doing. Don't say that. Okay. It's actually very fun and easy. You're right, it's almost impossible. I'm 91% sure I'll never get it solved.
Probably not. I wouldn't even know where to start with that. Much better here at the harbor, for an honest union man like me.
Okay. I need to know what's behind these gates. I'm exploring.
My friend, I respect the right to roam. The open range awaits.
He gazes over the roundabout with a glint of longing. Does that mean you'll let me through the gate?
I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
What does that mean? He takes a swig and points up the stairs with his flask.
If it's so simple, why did the scab leader warn you of the guards blocking the way?
Is that simple? I just walk in,
Aye. Walk right past Measurehead and go in.
past Measurehead.
Yeah, the 2.5 meter tall Semini supremacist there. Walk right past him.
That's a big dude. That's a very big dude.
Then press the button to unlock the door.
Aha.
Then go past him again.
Aha.
And you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
I see. Kim, do you still have your gun? So you're saying it's actually quite difficult?
Don't worry, I'm sure it's not completely impossible. For example, you could best Measurehead in a physical confrontation.
Or we could just shoot him.
Or you could convert to a Semini supremacist worldview. Or, maybe it actually is completely impossible.
Or we could just shoot him. Have any of the scabs tried converting to his worldview?
Jean-Luc himself would say the philosophy has proven overly heroic for the scabs to convert to. Not enough intuition.
Huh. Has anyone ever bested him in a physical confrontation?
Not yet, no. He's incredibly strong.
We could just shoot him? Okay. Another thing.
Sure.
Don't beg him for money. Gotta get moving. Kim, where's your gun? Shit, another bright red connection. Is Twitch failing again? In case of a strike, press button behind guard. Hermetically sealed door locked by electronic means. There's no lockpick or door kicking this one. Okay. The tall bloke is surrounded by women. Everyone should try to be like Measurehead. Nobody comes close to Measurehead. Okay. I dream about you all the time, she says. The future belongs to Measurehead. What the fuck? These airheaded fucking ladies. Okay, so that's the port. Hello. I believe your name is Measurehead.
Your body betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
You have no idea what those words mean, do you, lady? Wait, yeah, something about Samoan supremacy or something? What's that about? Okay. My body is unimportant. I'm with the police. And we need to get into the harbour. Do we? Oh god, the dude's got his own soundtrack. Okay. Do we need to get through into that? We don't really need to get through into the harbour. Not trying to be a spoilsport, but do we really need to start violence here? Say nothing. Size him up.
Are you admiring my morphophysiology?
A ripple of muscle passes underneath his skin. He lets you look.
It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Sandwich. You are not in danger, because you are not a threat to me.
My body is unimportant. I'm with the police. We need to get into the harbour.
That is precisely the negligence that has led you to succumb to Al Ghul.
His face contorts in disgust, as if he were smelling a dead rat.
You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick.
Invisible sword emerges from your throat. You smelling alcohol? I don't have a problem with Al Ghul. I just drink a little on the weekends, okay?
Your mouth moves, but the one who speaks is Al Ghul. You are but a vessel for the Ghul now. Very little of yourself remains. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the Sandwich race is waning.
Does this remind you of someone? The guy down there?
Yeah, the guy with the cigarette. The fat racist lorry driver. So clearly, there's a streak of nationalist, racist... Wait, what is a Samoan? Seminese? What does he have to do with anything? The fat racist over there, point at the racist lorryman. You're just him after pumping some iron. Is that really the best thing to say? Yeah, the race stuff is unimportant here. I just need you to help me do my job, please. Is there even, reasoning with the brute? I mean, the race stuff is unimportant. I just need you to help me do my job.
Begging for help. Attempting to pass fear for cooperation. How far the Occidental Haplogroup has fallen. You were once a noble and powerful race. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, race theory, and statecraft. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Quakers. But now your ascent to the genetic summit has halted. You are obsessed with sadness and with frivolous pop culture. You will be superseded. Isn't that right, babe?
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
Right.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor.
So he just filled his head with fucking... just filled his head with fucking nationalistic, racist nonsense, essentially. And they're just using him as a muscle-bound brute to guard a button. Dude, you're a fucking... You're essentially just a padlock? Hang on. Push him out the way. You're right about this. Now I just need you to let me go into the harbour. Yeah, he can spout as much bullshit to his heart's content. I just need to press the button. Yes, you're right about this. Now I just need to let me get into the harbour.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great world war. Bring your troops to the Seminine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, we will build a museum for you. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art, and your microcephalic skulls.
There may be a peaceful solution to this. You could internalize Measurehead's race theory. He would take you as one of his own.
No, not sure I want to. The path that he's walking down is leading him down crazy extremist ideals, which is venerating violence as the most supreme authority, Starship Troopers style. He's failed to appreciate that it wasn't violence or an appreciation of racial supremacy that let us acquire all of these things that he's deriding us for losing. He hasn't understood. He's looking purely at some hypothetical destination and has failed to appreciate the building of the wall of knowledge and the process that takes over time. Standing here built up like like a brick fucking shithouse covered in tattoos. What have you earned? What have you built? You're just surrounded by yes women that are just nodding, ignorant to what you're even saying. Do you even know what you're talking about? They certainly don't. Hang on. No, right, good idea. No, brain. Rhetoric. I'm not going to agree with his fucked up race theory in order to press a button.
Well, not as such. What you do with a mastery of advanced race theory is up to you. You could reject the findings, sure, or accept them and become an advanced racist.
That's a sentence. You serve the Union, don't you? Aren't they white? Conceptualization, physical instrument, formidable, 8% chance to knock him out. Subscribe to his advanced race theory. I don't want to do either of these things. Okay. You serve the Union, don't you? Aren't they white? Oh, that's interesting. Huh.
Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that.
Okay. But you still serve them. How does that factor into your life?
Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront polycultural capital. Something your race, naivistic communists, never did. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic.
But, fuck me. Like, it feels like I'm, like, it's almost like you failed to appreciate that that very sense of individualism is exactly what gained us the position in the first place. Again, he feels like he's racing to an end state and not appreciating the steps that it took to get there, if that makes any sense. With no understanding. Again, like what he said, like go to the island, fight a war, build a museum to your defeat or whatever. Just seeing violence and nothing else. Not study or scientific pursuits. And then he calls us lax and moronic. Okay. I'm no communist. Communism is pretty good. Individualism is my jam. My jam is mysterious. Is a mysterious fourth thing. Enough of this. Yeah. Not sure what communism has to do with this, sorry. A man of vision and means. To serve is noble, it takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race's failure. Is that referring to the communist uprising? Not so sure. Surely be collectivization, not individualism. If we were talking individualism, you're probably talking about It's probably no. Maybe he's talking about the ultra capitalist, ultra libertarian capitalists. Individualism is my jam. Not really. I don't really know what my jam is. My jam is a mysterious fourth thing. No, Sylvie. I'm just playing with it. I'm just chewing the scenery. Ah, fuck. But all of this, personally speaking, I've got no desire to engage with this brute, who clearly feels like he's playing this card game with fewer cards than are necessary. I just need to get to the button. Enough of this.
He looks toward the harbor, motionless, the tattoos on his face like a web of stone.
What are the tattoos meant to mean?
Racists are generally not very good examples of their race.
He gestures towards the lorryman down the street. Wait a minute. Racists are generally not very good examples of their race. Strange self-awareness there. Hang on.
Welcome to Revachol. You hear him yell at a redhead woman visiting the fritter nearby. He must think redheads are immigrants.
Oh no.
I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my skull and features. This should dispel any doubt.
Pseudoscience. Pseudoscience and fucking nonsense made at the turn of the century. You're grappling onto fucking just hogwash, basically. Sorry, phrenological grid. So like the skull size, you know, the whole the white man's skull has a certain more space in whatever fucking. I'm not really. I don't really understand it myself, but that clearly makes them superior because of their skull shape. Right.
The drawings are precise and look true to their pseudo-scientific ambitions.
Nonsense.
One thing, however, it is not entirely free of throwbacks in the phylogenetic tree. His large jaw, for example, could be a trait indicative of criminalism. Also, his earlobes could be smaller.
Is visual calculus saying that he's not spotting these elements of his own pseudoscience stupidity? As in, I'm superior, I'm a perfect example or whatever, but he's failing to see that he has a jaw that indicates he's a criminal? And he's not... Hang on. Are you sure that jaw is clearly atavistic stigmata? Your earlobes are too big. No, I'm not so sure that's wise to say, because you're not exactly going to crumble his worldview, are you? You're just going to make him get defensive quickly over it. He's gone so far as to tattoo himself. He's not going to agree with you, you know? He's just going to get angry. Can I quick save it? No. Are you sure that jaw is clearly... Fuck, okay, here we go.
That atavistic stigmata makes pussy say yes, plenty.
Fuck. Oh, fuck.
Babe, thanks. But I got this.
The tattoos on his stone face briefly form a smile. Okay. I think for now I'm just going to leave, simply because I don't necessarily wish to do either, even though logic points out, or what was it, rhetoric points out in my brain, that I don't necessarily have to agree with his race theory. Fuck. Nor do I want to go, like, nor do I want to go with violence as the first option, especially as a police officer. Oh wow, I just got a +1. I bested him in craniometrics. He's unsure of himself now. Okay. A white check, you may retry it. Okay. Let me leave for now. Hang on. Save it.
Your race descent has
Can I-
only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
What did I do in like 5 seconds? Okay, conceptualization. Subscribe to his advanced race theory. Hopefully this isn't stupid.
Ask what
Okay.
kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Measurehead, I'm new to this world. Help me understand its races. I need to know what different races there are.
Do you?
The lieutenant looks at me. I whisper, this is for a thing. Shh.
The lieutenant looks toward the harbor's electronic door, and then, to you, he lets out an audible sigh.
You are obviously a liberal, Sayolite. A polyculturalist. I can see it from your love of microtechnology and your sartorial choices. Do not deny your friend the truth you have denied yourself. There are 3 categories of race.
Oh, just 3.
Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need education on?
Yeah, so everything, it all fits in nice little boxes, doesn't it? Nice little fucking categories of people. You know, the fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not even overly familiar with this stuff myself. You've got your Aryan type, then your Aryan subtypes. So, like, obviously, you know, you've got like Germany, you have all of this bullshit back from the 1930s, and then you've got the ones that aren't quite Aryan, but they're okay. The Brits mostly. In fact, sorry, most people don't realize that. Did you know that Hitler apparently Hitler didn't actually expect Britain to fight, simply because he was so deep in the whole race theory bullshit that he essentially saw the British as cousins. Not quite Aryan, but almost. So he wasn't quite expecting such fierce resistance to, obviously, his extremist shit. And then, of course, Type C is the undesirables, those to be purged, those to be moved away or killed for the sake of Lebensraum. Lebensraum? That's basically what he's doing, isn't it? Tell me about Type A.
Those are the Simonese, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Maun, of course. The Maun are riddled with eczema to the point where they find it impossible to smile. They are all lactose intolerant, a common result of inbreeding.
So the Seminese, his race, I don't know what the other race is. Occidentals? I don't know what that race is, excluding the Maun. So I've not met any of those yet?
A receding genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parades. In Maun cities like Stadskanal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet and little green tassels on their hats.
Wait, who exactly are the Maun?
You know them by the names of their nation-states. The Oranese, the Gotwaldians, and the Königsteiners. My people simply call them Maun.
Mahun is a derogative term for first world people of Gotwaldian descent. They do not all have eczema. Also, people of Katla, like the Suru and the Uhu, are much more lactose intolerant.
The wooden clogs, though?
In some municipalities of Oranje, people do wear shoes made of wood to street parades. Green, orange, and even yellow tassels have also been seen on hats.
The Maun are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity and tassel-centric culture. Inbreeding has led to a lactose-intolerant subrace whom no one can take seriously.
Colorful tassels are, let's be honest, not a good sartorial choice for this century. You might want to avoid wooden clogs too.
Thanks, composure? Okay.
The Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient Meteorans of Meteo by the golden Pisantic Sea, the Suren of Sur-la-Clé, and even the North Königsteiners, all have Type A race propensities. The other large Mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic race. True, they are violent and expansionist, but they have a glandular problem.
He draws a finger across his face.
Overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brains,
What?
making them listen to El Mariachi music and eat toxic minced meat-based food,
What?
which in turn only produces more sebum.
He's just crammed his fucking brain with a huge amount of fucking nonsense pseudoscience crap, essentially. He's flanderized the fuck out of different cultures based on tassels and shoes that they wear at festivities, and is used that as a reason to class them as whatever fucking, you know, desirable, undesirable. Yeah, nonsense. It's just nonsense. Yeah, it's just there's no reasoning with this type of person. They're just insane. And who are the Seminese and the Areopagites in this?
As proven by the Maun and the Mesk, Occidental Type A is in retrograde. The Seminese and the Areopagite are on the ascent.
You see what I mean? It's nonsense. It's total nonsense. And the Seminese are?
The indigenous people of this, the Insulindian archipelago. The Seminese inhabit the southern islands. I am Seminese, from the stock of Ulumbuir on Ile de Fantôme.
Ah. He gestures towards the south. That's lucky, isn't it? That's very lucky for you. Somehow, you're on the ascent. You know, would have been horribly inconvenient if you were born in the wrong class, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay. And the Areopagites.
The Areopagites are the master race of the Ile Maran deserts. The Seminese are descendants of the Areopagites. We came here during a heroic migration from Ile Maran to Ansuland. Thousands of years before the lactose-intolerant Maun-ridden Occidentals discovered this place.
What's the difference between the Seminese and the Areopagites?
The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Seminese are powerful, mesomorphic. The former is an immutable progenitor, unchanged since the Super Isola of Pericarnassus. Ancient brains rest in their slender skulls.
Thank you, that was already taken. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The latter is perfected and adapted. Together they form the Simeno-Areopagite or Simeopagite superrace. That is all. There are no more Type A races in the world.
Yeah, chat, I'm with you. We should have just fucking shot him. Type Bs?
Type B are the unheroic races. Amorphous non-competitors of the great race. The Khoikos and the Vacholier, they are mud-colored people.
The Khoikos of Grad, Yugo, Zhimsk, Shest et al. Are what you would call white, officer, in a suspect description.
Okay. Yeah. You said Khoikos. I've been trained to identify them as white in official descriptions.
Yes. To an untrained eye, the Khoiko appear white and pinkish, like a ham sandwich.
Ah, that's why you were
But
saying
look
ham
into
sandwich.
their eyes and you will see. They are of an indistinct color, and so is their skin. Unhealthy, muddy, and ashen. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare and cultural domination that the Grad people have undergone for drinking Al-Rul and smoking the degenerate tobacco herb, and for eating potato.
Nonsense. It's just total. It's wall-to-wall nonsense. And I think, sorry, is that why the girls are here? Is that what the game is saying with this? He's a conspiracy, pseudoscience Nazi, and the only people willing to stand around him and listen to him are people with no idea, absolutely no concept that what he's saying is just ridiculous. They're just airheads. They're just a bunch of bimbos just standing around with no fucking clue. He's not exactly standing in the fucking Library of Alexandria right now, is he? Okay.
The Khoikhoi, the countless micronationalities of Grad, are all inexplicably obsessed with Potat. The only thing they like more is dividing into microscopic ethnostates, like political amoeba.
Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates?
You don't like ethnostates?
They are microscopic. The Semeno-Areopagite superstate will cover the entire remaining planetary crust,
Oh, will it?
uninterrupted. From Holy Semenine to the Boreal Plateau of Katla.
You know, it's almost, just putting this out here, mate, it's almost like the people that inhabit a particular area subsequently inherit the geopolitical and economic struggles that come with that area, and it's got very little to do with the genetic makeup of those people. For example, over in China, there's a revolution. Its prior government is overthrown and flees, and now China is replaced with a new government who surprisingly still have the same borders and the same problems and the same threats and everything. Things don't magically change just with a change of leadership. You still have the same enemies on different compass points. You still have the same access to resources and technology. It's nonsense. It's total. It's total. I feel offended by how much bullshit he's spouting. Kim, get the gun.
Its leaders will be the genetic epitome of the Simonese and Areopagite stock, elected by nature, not the base inner spoilage called demos.
And the Vacuoliers you mentioned.
The
Another
Revacholians,
ethnostate.
halfway between Type A and Racial Cauldron. Two makes to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little revolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our 82,000-year history on this planet.
That's weirdly short. Okay. Also, just as a little fact, or yeah. So if you're watching and wondering, so us on Earth, humans, is estimated. We don't know for sure, but we estimated that you can go back between either 100,000 or 200,000 years to have a human that is identifiably us. As in, if you go any later than that, then it probably, you're stretching it. A human, if you were to get a time machine, jump 200,000 years ago, grab a baby, and then try to raise it in present day, you might struggle. So consider human history to be roughly, here on Earth, around 200,000 years at the maximum end, really.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening, but that seems a little off.
So I've heard about this revolution. Mistakes were made, but it was the right stuff. The revolution was perpetrated by degenerate left-wing marauders, not the people of Revachol. Go away, stupid political thoughts. What was this revolution? Here's the trouble. I don't know enough about the Revacholian revolution to really comment. Again, for the people joining the stream, it was an overthrow of, I think, an autocratic monarchy. Fuck words even. A absolutist monarchy, I think. An absolutist monarchy in the name of a communist revolution. And by the sounds of it, it was a shit show and like 42 million people died. What was this revolution from his perspective?
The revolution came to Ravachol from Grad, in Zaraz-ridden potato carts. It is literally an illness. A prion disease that leaves the parietal, and frontal lobe ridden with holes. A soft, sponge-like mass of dementia, hallucination, and paranoia.
So what he's referring to, he's saying that these... So at the time, or at least this is what Joyce, the lady on the yacht, says, is that in 02, at the turn of the century, there was a prions outbreak, so a prion disease which was easily transmissible, and it caused a weakening of the societal... just everything, a weakening of society, a pandemic, a panic from a pandemic, and it weakened the existing government to the point that a communist uprising was possible. So yeah, it just... Yeah, so let's see how he twists that to try and fit it into his race theory.
The revolution is fatal familial insomnia. A hereditary prion condition passed from the Khoikhoi to the Occidentals.
Yeah.
But not sexually. Probably through trade routes and potate acid, the prime component of the potato gland.
Yeah, so, again, filled his brain with utter nonsense, whatever justifies this supremacy, whilst not acknowledging that prion's disease cannot be spread through a fucking vegetable. It's a prion in your brain, the human brain.
Enough of Tibet mediocrity.
And tell me about the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty? I'm not sure what that means, sorry.
Tips CF are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Your morbid interest in them worries me.
Chimeric experiments?
Lesser races like the mosquito, a grotesque mixture of a masked woman and a Semenese man. Only possible if the mother is masked and the father Semenese. The other way around, they fail to produce offspring.
He's talking about race mixing, isn't he? I think.
The mosquito is born sterile, like a donkey. All they have left is to ride customized motor carriages with hydraulic suspension, listening to aggressive El Mariachi music to vent their impotent despair.
Yes, sorry, that's what he's talking about, I think. Chimeric experiments. He's talking about interracial relationships. That's what he means. He's talking about race mixing.
It seems unlikely that two human beings produce genetically sterile offspring.
Yeah, it's nonsense. It's total fucking nonsense. Okay. I might have missed something, but aren't humans too similar to produce genetically sterile offspring?
You are right. You have misunderstood. You lack basic phylogenetic education. Then there is the Semino-Koiki Chimera. Are you sure you wish to know of the Semino-Koiki Chimera? It is not an aesthetic site.
So wait, Semino... sorry, is that what Kim is? In his racial theory? And Koikik, white? Is he talking about white Asian relationships? Is that what he's saying? Yes?
The Khoikhoi, as you know, are very servile, especially when they meet the rich man.
Oh, sorry, Semenese. Sorry, no, I'm mixed up in this guy.
With the idea of crossing the Semenese with the Khoikhoi to produce a super worker of Semenese strength and great servility. This will never happen. The Semenese and the Khoikhoi may have similar interbreeding problems as the mosquito. We will never know precisely. No Semenese man could maintain an erection in the suffocating potato stench of a Khoikhoi woman or Khoika.
Aren't they? Okay.
But enough. It is cruel to entertain ourselves with the deformities of Type CF. Were there any able-bodied races you needed education on?
now that we've been through all the types, I do understand advanced race theory.
You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery, let alone solved it.
Will you let me into the harbour if I do? Hang on. How do I word the mystery? Except, on second thought, I don't have time to get any deeper into this stuff. Decline. You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? Listening to more of his bullshit? How do I word the mystery? How do I word the mystery?
You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. This clarity does not come instantly.
So yeah, from a mechanical perspective, the game is asking me to level up the talent that lets me understand advanced race theory. Sorry, I know I keep saying this. What a fascinating game. What a fascinatingly cool game. We have stood on this bridge, and so maybe I didn't absorb all of it, but at least I, sitting in this chair, have enough familiarity with certain elements of pseudoscience to detect bullshit after bullshit, and essentially I can see through what he's doing. As in, you saw me when I gave the example about, you know, the Nazis and the Aryans and what is it, whatever they're called, the British, like the sub-Aryans or whatever, and then anyone else that they just kick off for Lebensraum. Although he's specifically talking about race mixing, as opposed to, I thought he was going to say, oh, these other races are lesser because whatever, geographic, whatever. But so I think it's wonderful that I can sort of, again, he is extremely offensive. And it's obvious in that regard, but also the game is not presenting him. So the portrait, a sort of spattering of indistinct colours, and he's essentially a Nazi. This man is a Nazi, and it's wonderful how it's sort of getting your, at least getting my goat, and like thinking, yeah, I just want to shoot this motherfucker. As a Brit, we kill Nazis. Just want to shoot this motherfucker. But we've got to get to the button. And also, I'm a police officer, so we can't just randomly murder some dude. Let's discuss something else. No, it's cool, though. It's a very cool game.
I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibere Vasholian. Your love for disco music and venereal disease?
And again, sorry, I love this. I love the airheaded bimbos that he's surrounded by. This man, this big brute, head full of pseudoscience, completely unsavable. The only people that tolerate his presence are the people that are so airheaded that they can't see it. They're oblivious. They have no idea what he's talking about.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate political opinions somewhere in Martinez.
Empathy. Hang on, I've not spoken to you much, have I? Empathy. So sorry, again, speaking to the people new to the chat. So this is like a facet of my personality, of my brain. Empathy. You are here. Understanding others. Work your mirror neurons. Empathy breaks into the souls of others and forces you to feel what's inside. It enables you to notice social cues others may miss. Perhaps a hidden sadness you could coax out just a little more, a strange joy from someone who should be bereaved, or a hidden resentment that could return to harm you later. Okay. So empathy. You're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate political opinions somewhere in Martinez. What, from this guy? You must be mistaken. I'm a real radical. That's me, Mr. Reasonable. Someone's got to keep it sane around here. Or this is because I keep saying none of the above to political stuff, isn't it? So I get the option. So this is probably going to lead me down another conversation talent point. So you're mistaken. I'm a real radical. That's me, Mr. Reasonable. Someone's got to keep sane. Yeah, this is because I keep saying none of the above to the political stuff, isn't it?
It's also about that, but it's also more. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's a temporary surge of serotonin, but something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience.
First, where is this Kingdom of Conscience?
It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times.
Okay, an honourable goal. That's a stupid goal. Trouble is, again, I fear what the game set up earlier when we met Gaston and Rene. When Rene chastised... Well, Rene isn't... Okay, right, so Rene is the soldier and Gaston is the guy with the sandwich. Gaston was being chastised for being the fence-sitter, the observer, taking no direct side. That being said, it almost feels like I'm feeling with this game that the sides feel so fucking warped. Be it the unions or the strike breakers. There's a literal Nazi over here, along with one down on the lorry down there, to previous reports of the royalists and the communists. Somehow I don't really feel myself pulling into any of their camps. So maybe I am. Maybe I am the fence-sitter. An honourable goal. I nod my head approvingly.
It is, isn't it? History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place. Too quickly.
Yeah. How does it go? Utopia. Always one execution away.
That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment.
This is a project. This is a project, and progress is difficult. Okay. Sounds mega boring, count me out. But what about all the things that are wrong now?
Tisk tisk. Just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your needs above the needs of the future. You may never live to see the Kingdom of Conscience. Your children may not. Even your grandchildren might not. But that's no excuse not to keep working. What rationality? What sang-froid?
Okay. Wait, is the Kingdom of Conscience really about doing things or just preserving the status quo? That's an excellent question. That is a really excellent question.
Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed?
Fuck, that's an even better question. Fuck. Depends on the status quo? Oh, fuck. Yes, no? Yes, no? Yes, no? That's too loaded a question. You're right, chat. Fuck. It's about incremental improvement. I don't believe either of those things. This game is great. Yeah. But in real life, I don't believe in either of those things. Do I believe that the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed? No. No. No? No.
Then you've never lived through real chaos.
That's a fair point.
Sometimes, in the face of great disaster, defending the status quo is progress.
That's also a good point. Especially in the face of what Revachol's facing, which is, communist uprising that led to the death of, was it 42 million? Though technically I don't think that number was specifically Revachol. I'm pretty sure 42 million was the entire world, wasn't it? Okay. Alright. What's the Kingdom of Conscience really like? Well, it's a centrist, isn't it?
The kingdom is difficult to comprehend, and even more difficult to describe. partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. The kingdom of conscience is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual.
It'll never be. It's not achievable. It doesn't even seem achievable. Okay. Yeah, wait. No sex? I'm out. Sounds incredible. Alonzi, let's go there right now. Well, I mean, this is just a fucking pipe dream ultimately, but there's nothing wrong with in the pursuit of said pipe dream. There's nothing wrong with taking things carefully, of thinking things through, you know? Instead of rushing to the next bloody, gore-soaked revolution. Sounds incredible. Let's go there right now.
Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow?
Alright, let's get there eventually.
That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revachol. When that real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we are all going to be so much happier.
When? If. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there this evening. This is a very cool game. If you're just joining me, we just ended up poking around and investigating the murder, well, the site of the murder. I discovered earlier that I pawned my handgun, and it's in the hands of who knows where. I've discovered that the Union are using a muscle-bound Nazi, a literal Nazi, just using the different words for it, guarding the switch to the gate that lets us into the port. So we can't proceed further until we get past him. We discovered that his head is just full of just hogwash, total fucking hogwash. And one of the options of getting around it is to sort of subscribe to his race theory. Yeah, this is a very, very fucking cool game. And as you've seen, my character is sort of leaning towards... Well, I'm not really leaning towards any political extreme. Instead, I'm sort of standing back and, I suppose, smelling the ashes. He's so gonna forget about it. Forget about what, sorry? Thank you, Jed. That was already taken. Thank you, that was already taken. The patats? What the fuck are you on about, the patats? Right. Okay, anyway, well thank you very much for watching, folks. I'm definitely looking forward to more of this, for sure. Kim and I looking out together. Romantic Kim. So Kim, about the Nazi we just spoke to. Right. Thank you again, everyone. Have a lovely evening. So please know that I'm working on the latest bullshittery. It's going fine. It's on week number 4. It's SWAT4/Ready or Not. If you're a patron or a Twitch subscriber, I posted an update including a behind-the-scenes thing, so you can find it in the Discord group below. Yeah, bear with me. I will keep working on the bullshittery this week and try to deliver it at the end of the week. Although it's probably a bit of a tall order. We'll see. I'll do my best. Right. Hang on. There we go. Fuck. Yeah, I tell you what, I'm going to wander off and start thinking about this stuff. Yeah, like, fuck. It's a very cool game. Maybe violence would be justified in that situation? I mean, obviously I entered the conversation with that Nazi expecting, obviously, violence to be a last resort. But frankly, and again, I think this is the sort of game that... you can't play this without kind of narrating it, if you're narrating it, without revealing your own political leanings. You can't really negotiate with a Nazi. Like, violence is really an acceptable answer when dealing with a Nazi. Because all they're going to do is fucking bring down the fucking everything around them in the pursuit of their horror show ideology. So I wonder if perhaps physically attacking him is justified as the only response. Because you're not going to change his mind. Yeah, there's nothing you can do against authoritarianism and fucking outright Nazis and then fucking take him out. Anyway, that's a weird note to end on. So, have a lovely evening, everyone. Thank you for watching. Do you know what I might do? Sorry. I might quickly pop outside and see if the stars are out. I fancy having a stare at the stars, maybe. I've got my telescope, you see. I'll go and have a look. Maybe get a hot beverage because it's quite cold outside. Right. Thank you again. Have a lovely evening. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Right, hang on. Thank you for the art again. Nervous. All right. Let me have a look. So, is anyone doing anything? So Tom's on. What's Tom doing? So Tom is doing... It's either Dark Souls or Bloodborne. It's one of these Souls-like type games, but I can't identify it on a glance. I'm guessing it's probably Dark Souls. I will leave you with Tom. Thank you again, folks. Have a lovely, lovely evening.